I'm using replit.com for these tutorials, in which you can go to create. You click on this little plus button, you'll find that it allows you to decide on what type of programming language you want. Of course, these are Python tutorials. It will give you a random title for your first REPL, and what they will say is something strange like fated lean. I don't even know, but you can call this anything you want. I'm just going to call this first tutorial, for example, something less suspicious. And then we do create our REPL, and you can see here the console. This will be where everything comes up. This will be where I will actually write my code. There's a couple of things that I've done from the very beginning, which are probably not as obvious, which is if you click this in here, you'll find that there's a little light. So if you wanted to, you could make things bright, and don't know why you do that to yourself, but just so you're aware that that's how I did that. Another thing that you could do is you can change the way things are structured. So for example, you can move these around, you can reduce the size of that, you can move these around. Moreover, you've got certain things in here. This will bring up the files where you can do things to this file, like for example, copy the link, duplicate it, download it for something else. This is version control. I do believe that we can talk about this another time. None of these per se are that useful at this stage in the game, but one thing that is definitely the case is if you go to settings, stacked is what I prefer. You probably will start off side by side if that's your situation. If that's something you like, then that's one way you can change that. The font sometimes is a normal or tiny, but given how long you have to stay at the screen for, I tend to keep it at large. Indent size, we'll discuss that later, this degree to which the code is indented in, which is actually quite useful later. I keep it at the base one too. You can expand it, and other things like this. Now, we don't need too much of these, but I would say that in my humble opinion, stacked is better than side by side, and the font should be large if you're going to stare at it for long periods of time. Let's start off from the very beginning with just the concept of printing. If I say to you that I want this thing to start talking to me, and it's like, hello mate, then if I click run, you'll find that it says, hello mate. Notice how I needed to put speech marks. If I remove the speech marks, so something like that, then you'll find that it gives you an error message. And that is because, and it literally points to it, it's like, hello mate. I'm not really sure what this is. It's a syntax error, invalid syntax, because it's not a string. I need to make it clear that this is something that I have typed in that I wanted to say by putting those speech marks on the side of it. If, for example, I actually created a variable, let's say we call the variable A, and then typed in hello mate, so that the variable A is equal to the string hello mate, then I could instead put inside the print A like this, and it should give me the same thing because it's aware that A is hello mate. If, for example, I changed A to 1 and I press print, then it will give me 1. So this prints whatever that variable is. So sometimes I don't even need to actually write in the print what I want it to say. I can instead state make a variable equal to something that I want. So yes fam, and then if I do that and I click print A, it will be like yes. So if I have another variable, let's say B is equal to just no, so something like that, of course it's only going to print A. What I can do is I can do something like this, print A plus B, and what you'll find is you get yes fam no. If I put a little space in there so that it actually gives you both, it's now doing both. Now, for example, let's get rid of this because some individuals will be asking me why I'm shortening the word family to fam in this weird context. The main point here is this is how you concatenate, I believe. Actually, no, that might not be the right phrase. God knows. And it's late when I'm doing this tutorial, so that's my excuse for not recalling that name. But generally speaking, this allows you to add different variables and print them. So let's say I want to also add in some information. So let's say I do this and I say I am not sure, so I will tell you, I will tell you what am I going to tell you, yes and no. Then what you'll find is you get something like this. Now you're like, okay, right, so I've got this here, why can't I just mix these up? Well, let's see what happens if I put a plus in between. So here, I'm not sure, so I will tell you yes, no, so both. And so you can see, therefore, I can use the plus to mix things up a little bit. Another thing I can do is I can use something called \n, and \n, if I put that in, it will, as you can see, it brings it to another line. So once I got to I am not sure, so I got \n, I will tell you, and then a plus, and then yes and no. So one other thing that might be useful with regards to this is to note that you can do \n any way you want. So you can do it like that, and you can do it here. It will just keep producing new lines. And this is useful, for example, because otherwise you might need to do multiple prints, and now you don't have to do that. So that's the print. Another thing I'm going to do in this situation is input. Input is very similar in that I could use speech marks and be like, can you tell me your name, like this? And what will happen is you'll get a little rectangle, it's a beautiful little rectangle here, in which you could write into the console your name. So my name is Spider-Man. So I'm going to press enter, and it now has accepted that Spider-Man. And so where does it accept it? Let's put it in something. So I'm going to put it in A, and then I'm going to do it again and say to you, I am now Hulk. So Hulk is going to be stored, if I press enter, in A. And how can I prove that? I can prove that simply by doing this, by showing you that I'm going to print A, and A should be whatever I decide to be my name. So for example, my name is yes, yes. Let's say that's my name, and I press this, and it's going to print yes, yes, my name. So I can also do exactly what I did earlier by saying something like, oh, your name is, and then give a little space. And of course, if I run this, I should get an error. And you can perhaps recall why that is the case. That is because I haven't put a plus in here. And if I do put a plus in here, oh, it's asking me, can you tell me your name? And I'm like, yes, assuming that's my name. And it's like, oh, your name is yes. It's like I'm a little bit special at this point in time, so really that shouldn't really be my name. Let's say I tell you my name is actually what it is, which is Spider-Man, and then I press enter. It's like, oh, your name is Spider-Man. It's like, of course, well, what else did you expect? And so again, I can do anything I want with regards to the same techniques that I put in print. So I can put another plus and put another variable, but this is just to show you how you can take information in and then print it and store it later. So one other thing that I think is probably worth doing in this tutorial is to take in values. So can you tell me your, let's say, age? So if I say, can you tell me your age? And then of course, oh, your age is, I'm going to change this to your age is, and then I will print this. So here we go. So let's say that I'm running this, and it says, can you tell me your age? In fact, let's be a little bit nicer and put a little space so it's not as tight. Can you tell me your age? And I would say I'm 9 years old, and I press enter. Oh, your age is 9? Okay, brilliant. Let's do something else with this quickly. So, well, not too quickly. Well, let's say b is equal to 9, like this. And I want it to say that if a is equal to b, then say, let's say print, I am also 9. And of course, I need speech marks to do this, like so. So b, we're calling 9. Let's just say that's the age of the, I don't know, the computer program. Let's say that the age of this is 9 years old. And if I was to say that I'm the same age, it will say, oh, your name is this, your age is this, sorry, and then it will print that it's also that. So let's take a look at this and see what happens. So I know, I already know because I wrote this, that 9 is actually the equivalent age that I wanted to link to and suggest that it's the same. So I press it, it says, oh, your age is 9, and then nothing happens. And you can say, oh, is it this double equals? No, double equals is correct for if. The problem with this is that it's taking in a string, it's taking in information that is not something that you can compare numbers with. We need it to be considered as an integer. So I'm going to put int around this, like so. And then when I click run, and it says, can you tell me your age? And I put 9. And it says, oh, what's all this nonsense? It says B, it says here, type error can only concatenate a string. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to put this around here, and we'll talk about this in more detail later. But this is for it to be able to say this and then say the number 9 or whatever number I put in here. So let's say I say 10 years old. It's going to put, oh, your age is 10 years old. But it doesn't want to take that number and add it to this sentence. That messes it up in the head. That's like giving it a drug it's never had before. So what you want to do instead is you want to assume, make it act as though this is a word, also known as a string, and then it can actually concatenate, which is concatenate. Concatenate, that's the phrase I've been looking for this whole time. Thank God it just told me. So anyway, can you tell me your age? And I'm like, I'm 9. Oh, your age is 9, I am also 9. So I fixed the problem of being able to use this if statement. If A is equal to B, so if the age that you put in is equal to 9, then print I am also 9. Notice if I get rid of the integer, let's get rid of that construct, and I give it a number, it stops at, oh, your age is 9. It just stops at that. It's like, nah, what's going on? I don't know. I can't do this capacity for mathematics with words. If I'm going to do things, is this thing equal to something else? I need to make sure that this is actually a number. So I can force that to be the case. I give it a, you have no choice but to consider that as an integer. The double bracket there should have come up as an issue, but I don't know why it's being sussed there. And then it's what have we got here? B is 9, foul, syntax, and invalid syntax. B is equal to 9. Hold up. What have I done? That's dodge. I'm pretty sure that's fine. Integer input. Can you tell me your age? Yes, it can. 1, 2, 3. Hold up. This here is not beautiful. Let's put this in. So they're here. A equals integer. So now it's going to take whatever I have as my number and make sure it's a number. Then it can do the mathematics of if A is equal to B, then I'm going to print I am also 9. And then that will solve that problem. And if I say 10, it doesn't do it, of course, because it knows 10 is not 9. But if I say 9, it will do it, of course. Oh, your age is 9, I am also 9. Okay, good. Now, one of the other things that I want to make sure we're aware of is what happens if I get rid of the construct of making sure this is a string. Let's get rid of all these brackets. In the beginning, it's fine, but then when I press 9, you get all these issues. And it particularly says here, can only concatenate a string, not an integer. It even tells you, I can't do this with an integer, mate. What's your problem? Can you sort your life out? And I'm like, okay, I'll sort my life out here, and then this would work. Or will it? We'll see. So watch, one thing you'll notice is if I put 9 in here, then this will work, but then it stops because it cannot do the if statement, wherein it's comparing a number to another number and giving us something as a result when it is not an integer. So I put the integer back in, make life peaceful, and then I pretend at this point that that number that I'm going to put in is actually a lovely little word, also known as a string, and then this code here is something that can do something like that. We'll stop there for now.